You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Essentia. A better you starts with better hydration. Essentia is on a mission to inspire people to do what matters most. Their proprietary ionization process transforms water from any source into ionized alkaline water, providing water that's 99.9% pure with a pH of 9.5 or higher. Essentia Overachieving H2O, the #1 ionized alkaline water. Shop now.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
How's this? I'll ask a question.
What question?
Jazz question. Hey, you get it right. We roll.
I know everything there is to know about Miles. Lay it on me.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neil, and I am joined with my co-host Jeff today for a special Lay It On Me episode about the television series Silicon Valley from HBO. And our contestant today is one of our favorite fans of the show, Jeffrey Seguritan. How you doing, Jeffrey?
Hey, guys. Hey, everyone.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about, why you love trivia so much? I know you spoke to me privately that you like writing questions as well as playing, and how you got into listening to trivia podcasts.
I mean, I'd say I really got into trivia in earnest about 3 years ago. I found trivia through, like meetup.com. You can easily, find groups that you're interested in. And, I just happened upon a trivia meetup, thought it was interesting. I liked kind of answering trivia questions and all. So, I decided to try out one of those. And, ever since I did, it kind of, the momentum just kind of got rolling. I had been doing more and more pub trivia, nights, week by week. I had started getting into trivia podcasts. I started off with Trivial Warfare, wanted to broaden out my trivia podcast listening library. So, henceforth I found, Triviality, and some of the other ones out there. That's kind of been the journey. As you've mentioned, Neil, I've also been into kind of writing trivia questions as well. I find that it's a great way to study and absorb trivia is to kind of get in the mind of a trivia host or a trivia quiz master, write questions, and I think you pick up a lot more easily and become a better trivia player as a result.
Yeah, we do too. We found that through doing the show, our own trivia knowledge has gotten stronger just from researching and writing questions. And
absolutely.
We really enjoy doing this, and we're so happy that we have fans like you who are passionate about trivia.
Yeah, I was very much looking forward to this. Many of the categories that we cover and then we do, I really like. So a lot of the shows we've done so far, I'm a fan of myself. How deep that knowledge goes is always waiting to be tested when I write questions or I'm on the receiving end. But no, when you proposed Silicon Valley, I was very excited about that. It's a show that I know Neil and I both like, so I figured this would be a pretty nice fit for us to write questions, and hopefully that means that you will also have a good time and maybe some success. We don't know.
Yeah, I really think it's an underrated show. I feel like it doesn't get the same kind of buzz as some of the the other great comedies out there. Even within HBO, I feel like Veep tends to get a lot more buzz than Silicon Valley. I think we're in that Silicon Valley age and kind of seeing and using all the products coming out of there, and so it's really a nice window and lens into that world.
Yeah, it's almost a representation of Murphy's Law, I feel like, with these guys, with Pied Piper. They everything that could go wrong seemingly does, and
That's true.
All for our entertainment. Well, before we get started, just wanted to send out a call to all the other listeners out there and fans of the show. Make sure to keep reviewing us on iTunes. You want to hit 50 in order to give out 10 prizes. And also, if you'd like to be on a Lay It On Me episode like Jeffrey is right now, please message us on Facebook, Twitter. Let us know subjects that you might be an expert in or a self-described expert, and we'll come up with some questions to have fun and to throw at you. So, all right, we're good on our end. Are you ready, Jeffrey?
Lay it on me.
Okay, here we go. So we'll start with question 1 here, and then I'll throw it to Jeff. Question 1. The show has an inventive opening credits animation featuring various tech companies. The designers got very clever in the Season 3 credits when they showed this company's logo eating the WhatsApp and Oculus logo after they were bought out in real life.
I love that opening sequence, too. And I do notice that it changes from time to time with some of the newer companies out there. Yeah, I think this is more of a question of who bought out WhatsApp and Oculus. I believe the answer is Facebook.
Facebook is correct. Yeah, I read this fact, and I do myself love the opening credits, and there's always something different you catch every time. And when I read this fact that now different graphics change depending on if the company was bought out, I believe the Twitter logo either drops Vine or something else like that. Yeah, so it's pretty funny how that works.
They also have the Uber and the Lyft. I think it's like balloons.
Yeah, where the balloons
bumping
are
up against
exactly,
each other.
Yeah, they're vying for domination.
Yeah,
such great details.
Absolutely.
On to question 2. Russ Hanneman, famous billionaire and protagonist, is the proprietor of this tequila brand.
And we will accept the English or the Spanish translation.
I think that's a big clue, because I remember there was an episode where what was it? Rich Hendricks visits Russ, and they see I think it's like a painting on the wall with 3 commas for the Billionaire Club, and then I remember some reference later in the show about the Tres Comas, or I guess the English version might be 3 commas. If I'm thinking about it right, I think that's the answer, unless I'm totally off base and I missed a detail somewhere along the line.
Not at all. It is in fact 3 commas. Tres Comas is the official tequila brand. One of my favorite things about that particular scene, though, and I was joking with Neil about this earlier, is the cap is a comma itself. So I thought that was really funny when I noticed. I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, so technically the bottle has 4 commas on it, but regardless.
All right, on to question 3. What member of Pied Piper is revealed to be Canadian and has to get himself a work visa?
So I think there are really, in my mind, there's only 2 possibilities. I think it's either Dinesh or it's Guilfoyle. I think I will go with Bertrand Guilfoyle.
And Guilfoyle is correct.
I like that scene a lot too, because they're talking about like someone in their group is an illegal immigrant, and everybody looks at Dinesh, and Dinesh is like, no, I'm a legal Pakistani immigrant, and then they all find out it's Guilfoyle and he's Canadian.
I love Guilfoyle on that show, and just even the dynamic between Dinesh and Guilfoyle, it's classic.
On to question 4. What is the name of Ehrlich's airline booking application?
Like the thing that he keeps telling folks that he's known for is for selling the company Aviato, and I think that's how he would pronounce it. I remember the nip alert that Big Head was working on at the start of season 1. It could be something else, but I think the only thing I've got that I know is aviation related is Aviato, and so I'll lock that in.
So the answer is Aviato.
Great pronunciation there.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to question 5. And speaking of apps, currently available in the actual iTunes store, what is the name of Jin Yang's app? And you can actually get this as you're listening to the podcast now, you can go into the App Store and actually buy this app.
So for point of clarification, he develops a few apps.
Oh, true.
In the show. So this is the app that he develops in season 4.
Season 4 app. Yep.
The one that I know was definitely the name of the app at one point was I think it was Not Hot Dog, and basically it was trying to be like what do you call it, like a Shazam for food kind of thing, and I think that's how it was initially developed. I don't know if I have the name perfectly right, but I'm gonna go with Not Hot Dog.
So the app let you know that a piece of food was not a hot dog if you took a picture of it. It was not hot dog, correct?
Oh, great.
So out of the first 5 questions, you're having a very strong showing so far, which we expected. You're 5 for 5 so far. Great job.
On to question 6. What is the name Guilfoyle gives to the server in the garage?
It is Anton. He speaks very affectionately of this server.
Neil thought maybe I should put in a Chekhov reference for this one, but it is indeed Anton.
Yep. Let's see. We're going to go to question 7. What piece of jewelry does Dinesh get mocked for wearing when Jared asks, do you choke your mother with it when you put your...
Oh, gosh. It's calling to mind all of those... and I'm trying to remember it all. I don't think I can, like all the different insults that were thrown at him for wearing it. But it is a gold chain.
It is a gold chain, you're right. And Jared said he wanted to take a stab at insulting him, and that was the first thing that came out of his head when they came out of the elevator. And everyone turned, and he just went a little too far.
And I wish I could recall some of them right now, but it was pretty epic.
We'll have to look some of those up, and maybe someone made a list online.
Yeah.
Question 8. What energy drink company, owned by Double A, tries to work with Pied Piper to provide a 4K live stream of an extreme car jump until Richard unfortunately insults the owner?
Oh my God. He insulted him by calling him Double A. There's a reason why that kind of touches resonantly with this owner, but the answer is homicide.
Yeah, homicide indeed.
Question 9. In one of the funniest season finales in any show that I've seen, and I think that Jeff has seen, the concept of optimal tip-to-tip efficiency was figured out by the boys at Pied Piper. The question I have for you, though, Jeffrey, is what real event taking place in California did the Pied Piper guys figure out optimal tip-to-tip efficiency? So I'm looking for the name of the event that is a real thing that this took place at.
I think that is TechCrunch.
TechCrunch
was the name of the event.
Is correct. It was TechCrunch Disrupt. Great job on that question. And if anyone else wants to know how to jack off 800 men in a room, definitely Google optimal tip-to-tip efficiency. There actually is a 12-page scientific paper that you can read if you Google it.
Really?
Yeah, there is.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's actually, it is credited and written by Dinesh and Guilfoyle, at least on the paper.
That is awesome.
Question 10. Peter Gregory invests heavily in agricultural futures for this plant product sourced specifically from Indonesia after ordering and analyzing every menu item at Burger King.
Oh my gosh. I remember this episode because it was so bizarre what was going on. I think he had some folks yelling at him because they needed more money, and then he just suddenly comes out with, order everything on Burger King's menu. And it wasn't clear where this was going. I think it's sesame seeds, and I think it had to do with some quirk in the cycles of cicadas that allowed there to be shortages in one country versus another. And he made a big bet in this that allowed him to cash in on that shortage. That's my best guess, unless it's something else.
So there are 3 countries that provide this agricultural staple, and between locust changes and some concerns about rainfall, he decides that he should definitely buy out the entire stock he can get his hands on of sesame seeds from Indonesia.
All right, that was correct there. Moving on to question 11. In the season 2 premiere, Ehrlich spots twins at a party that he calls, quote, two genetically enhanced Ken dolls. They are known for their Facebook and Bitcoin fame and are portrayed by one actor in the film The Social Network. Who are they?
If we're talking about Bitcoin fame, if we're talking about their involvement in Facebook, I think it's the Winklevoss twins, or as Jesse Eisenberg says in the movie, the Winklevi.
That is correct. It is the Winklevoss twins, yep.
Question 12. Partnering with Jack Barker and Hooli with his new VR app, Keenan Feldspar is portrayed by what famous child actor?
So when I first saw Kenan Feldspar in the show, I really did not immediately make the connection. He looks so different than what I remembered this actor to be. Not just being aged, but also just kind of, he's a much bigger man than what I remember. But I think it's the answer is a Haley Joel Osment.
So there was a little bit of debate before Neil and I were co-writing these questions, and he's like, he mentioned that this person plays the actor, and I said, no way. So I immediately challenged him and went to IMDb to find that he was in fact right. Haley Joel Osment is yes. Keenan Feldspar, and I was so taken aback. I could not believe it myself.
Yeah, I didn't notice it the first time through. Like, someone had to point it out to me.
Yeah, well, the beard and the hair really throw you too. Because even in his later roles, you kind of see him as like this thin, clean cut kid. And very much not the case anymore.
Question 12. It has been reported that TJ Miller will not be returning to the show portraying Ehrlich Bachman. We last saw his character living with Tibetan monks as Gavin Belson return to the States. If this is the last time we see TJ Miller as Ehrlich, what were his last words ever spoken on Silicon Valley?
Oh my gosh. Oh man. I think he said big head.
That is correct. Big head, as he was blowing out smoke.
Yeah.
Question 14. What language does Jared speak when he is sleep talking?
Yeah, this is one of the most bizarre things in the show because it was never even really explained why this was the case. I know that Rich had approached Jared about it and he had no clue. And yeah, I don't recall that it was ever explained, but he was speaking in German in his sleep.
That's correct. I was going to say 9, but that wouldn't work.
Question 15. Gavin Belson's right-hand man and head of security, Hoover, is portrayed by actor Chris Williams, who is the brother of a famous actress known for playing Wilhelmina Slater on the television show Ugly Betty. Who is it?
Huh. So, I did remember the name of his right-hand man, Hoover. I didn't know the actor, so I guess it's Chris Williams. And you said his relation to this other actress is he's the brother of...
Right, his sister portrays Wilhelmina Slater, on Ugly Betty. And she's also known as a pageant winner and controversial Playboy playmate.
Yeah, I think that last clue would... at first, the only thing I knew about Ugly Betty was America Ferrara. Obviously, this wouldn't be... I don't think she would have been related to Chris Williams. I would go with Vanessa Williams as the likely answer.
That is correct. It is Vanessa Williams. Well, looking at your score sheet here, I'm just going to tally it up. And before we reveal what your score was, let's ask Tom Cruise if he's going to let you go. And it looks like Tom Cruise is going to buy you a drink because you got all questions correct. Great job, Jeffrey.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting me on this. I love the concept of the Lay It On Me's kind of, interspersed with, the regular episodes. There's trivia that's kind of broader, but then there's also a portion of it that's really kind of deep cut and niche that people love about their favorite things and things that they're passionate about. And yeah, I mean, I love Silicon Valley. I mean, I wish it has more, you know, that it gets more buzz than it currently does. But you know, I feel like it's a show that has staying power, even though it's completed its 4th season. Kind of excited to see where the show goes.
Yeah, it's an incredibly well-written show. I think, you know, in the current state of business with all these tech companies sort of getting larger and larger and taking over the world, that it's very timely, and they do a great job of breaking down what actually happens behind the scenes, because I know a lot of the show is based on real events, which is just crazy to me when you see what they go through, and the fact that this is happening. Guys are just throwing away, you know, millions and millions of dollars and showing up to meetings like this. But yeah, you did a great job, and we really appreciate having you on here. You know, hopefully we'll have you on for another one to repeat this score, because you and Colleen are the only ones with perfect scores so far in Lay It On Me.
I was very impressed with Colleen on the Gilmore Girls episode, and did she do another one as well?
She's going to be coming on for a How You Met Your Mother episode, yes. I'm
sure that'll be... I think she'll crush that one too.
we think so too. She, I think both of you have the same mentality when it comes to a subject that you like, that you sort of dive head first and get to know as much as you can, and it almost becomes like the back of your hand, which it seems like you did with Silicon Valley. So, you
know, I mean, as you can tell from the show, I'm really a big fan of TV, but I'm also a huge fan of movies. I'm sure Neil knows, and you know, the one podcast I've been really getting into recently is one that Neil co-hosts, which is Best of the Best. I think it's a great show. You know, you kind of learn a lot about the movies that they talk about from a kind of that, you know, that cinephile filmmaker perspective. And you know, if you listen to the show, there'll be some movies that you are familiar with, but those that aren't, that will make you kind of want to watch them. And I think most recently they had the John Carpenter episode, and in the past couple of evenings I've watched The Thing and Escape from New York, and I've enjoyed them both immensely. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, it's been a fun show. It's sort of the sister podcast to this. We have a lot of fun doing it, and you know, me and Mark are just a director and editor who are obsessed with movies, and I'm glad to hear other people are appreciating it, especially almost from a trivia angle too, because we try to tell as much as we can if there are fun trivia facts, so that you guys can learn a little bit about it as well. But I guess on that note, yeah, if you guys want to check it out, since Best is so prevalent in iTunes searches, the best way to find it is bestofthebestpod.com. We're actually, we have a brand new website that Mark created where you can listen to everything right on the site and subscribe. And maybe we'll have you on that show at some point, Jeffrey, and we'll pick a category. Maybe it'll be the Billy Wilder episode. I don't know. Billy Wilder? We should. I'm going to have to force Mark to watch some more Billy Wilder. But once again, yeah, we really appreciate you being here, and hope to have you back, and love that you're a listener and a fan. Thank you, guys. You know, great show. Enjoyed having the chance and the opportunity to to play a good game around one of my favorite shows, Silicon Valley, and wish the best of luck to the kinds of things that you'll be putting out. Well, thank you, Jeff. Where can they find us on social media? And let's close it out.
Sounds good. So, best way to get in touch with us, engage with the show, you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter. You can send us questions if you'd like to hear them on the show. We like to read those at question 5 every regular game. So if you would just put question 5 in the subject line and the host you'd like to read it, that way the rest of us don't peek. That's at trivialitypodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us directly financially and feel we've earned it, we'd appreciate it. You can do that at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. For Neil, Jeffrey, and myself, that was Triviality.
Knock, knock, who's there? This guy.
Hey, Russ, what's up?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What brings you here?
I had to meet this lawyer, and his kid's 6, and I have a few hours to kill.
Did I see a McLaren 650S with the extra trim package pull into the driveway? Or did I not?
Yep. So, this is the team. Whoa. I was just gonna say it. This guy, am I right? Because I'm looking at the rest of you guys, This is the guy in the house doing all the Am I right? You know I'm right. This guy
Thank you.